Look who finally decided to show up in the mail for the Yz125. So I was going to do the first start before I actually rode this thing, and I decided to actually throw in that shift guide that had to get welded. So I was just going to install the welded one, run the bike for a little bit, break it in and all that, and then once we actually rip it, we'll put the new one in. But we didn't even get to do our first start yet, so that's kind of sad. Let's actually open up this package real quick. And boom, there's the new shift guide, and to actually install this, we have to pull down our whole entire clutch again, which is kind of sad, but that means we have to lock in and we just have to get to it. So let's do that today. So let's actually just go ahead and remove this clutch. I dropped that, so maybe you shouldn't. Now that our clutch is torn down, you can actually see that shift guide that we have to replace. First, let's remove the shift shaft, which means we got to pull our shifter off first, and this thing's not even bolted on. And then we could just go ahead and pull our shift shaft out. Now we could just go ahead and remove these two bolts that are holding the shift guide in, and we could swap that one out. You can see right there that it was snapped and re-welded in the past. Now let's actually just go ahead and pull this out all as one piece. This piece right here has two springs and two key things in there. If you kind of lose it like that, they'll just end up coming out on you. I'll show you guys how to put these things back in. My cousin obviously did do a pretty good job welding that, but we just don't want to run one that was broken in the past. We're trying to make this bike frickin' mint. So let's actually just go ahead and get this new one put in. So let me show you guys how to assemble this thing. I still don't know what it's called, but we're just going to take this spring, and there's like a cap on there. We're just going to go ahead and put it in the divot in this metal piece, just so it sits in there like that and it actually springs. We're going to go ahead and do the same with the other one. And then once we do that, we can actually install these key things. One side of the key is actually kind of domed, and we're going to put that piece inside of this metal piece like that. And then obviously we're going to do the same with the other side. And then you're going to make sure both of them spring in like that, or your bike's not going to shift correctly. Now we're going to go ahead and install this piece into the new shift guide. That thing's going to sit like this, but we do have to put that piece into this piece first. So let's just do that. So we're just going to squeeze that, and then we're just going to put it through our shift guide. There we go. We had to rotate it just a little bit. So I've realized as long as you push this piece into the shift guide like that, it won't come out on you. We could just go ahead and install it now. Sweet, now we can just put the bolts in. The bolts are both now in. Now we're just going to flick this up just a little bit so we can put our shift shaft on. We're just going to go ahead and slide that on in. We have to put on this little collar first, so we're going to put that on right there. And then we're just going to slide our shift shaft on. Now I'm just going to go ahead and speed run our clutch and get that thing on. Oil, clutch body, and clutch pack. And then we could just go ahead and put this tab back on. And then the clutch nut. And then we could just simply torque it to spec. And then we could do the crush washer.